Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi my students, how are you? I hope all of you always blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and always healthy and keep spirit for to study. And now I would like to give you the new material about news item text. Are you ready? I hope all of you always ready to listen my explanation on this video. For the purpose of the text is the PEST competent 3.4 is to analyze the social function, text structure, and the social function. The language features. For the news item in newspaper, radio, television based on the using. And the best competent 4.4 is to knowing the meaning of the text. And now we can knowing about the vocabulary builder. You can reply after me how to pronounce these words fluently. Okay, please prepare your ear. You can use your headphone. Okay, please, are you ready? For the first is obey, regulation, occurrence, tenant, owner, be accustomed, abandon, concern. Okay, once, obey, regulation, occurrence, tenant, owner, be accustomed, abandon, concern. Okay, right? You can reply it at home. I hope you can more fluent than me. I wish it. Now, you can study right. Okay, for this time is the text about news item. Tenants advised to obey regulations on apartment. Jakarta, a building architect has advised families planning to live in apartment to study all the relevant regulation prior to moving in to help prevent unexpected security-related occurrences. Tenants must be obey certain regulation when living in an apartment, which is far different from living in a landed house, Fendi Ibu Hindar said. Tenants of an apartment should abide by regulation set by the owner of the high-rise building, he added. This is important especially for a family that has a young child. He was quoted as saying by Occasion.com. According to him, the trend of living in an apartment in Jakarta started only 10 years ago. Living in an apartment has increasingly become popular. Most of Jakarta's residents are more accustomed to living in a landed house, and when they live in apartment, many are not ready for apartment living habits and regulation. They have to abandon their mindset of living in a landed house, he said. He said that an owner of apartment should also consider aspects of designing and building materials that are safe for children. The quality of building materials should be prioritized, he said. Children's safety should be the main concern with regards to the building materials that are used, he said. Adapted from the Jakarta Post, May 9, 2014. Okay, can you catch my point for this text? I hope all of you can join and can reply how to pronounce the text fluently. You can listen carefully and so that you can fluent how to pronounce English well. Okay, I will give you once more how to read the text. Okay, are you ready? Tenants advised to obey regulation on apartment. Jakarta, a building architect has advised families planning to live in an apartment to study all the relevant regulation prior to moving in to help prevent unexpected security-related occurrences. Tenants must obey certain regulation when living in an apartment, which is far different from living in a landed house. Fendi Ibu Hindar said. Tenants of an apartment should abide by regulations set by the owner of the high-rise building, he added. This is important, especially for a family that has a young child, he was quoted as saying by Okezon.com. According to him, the trend of living in an apartment in Jakarta started only 10 years ago. Living in an apartment has increasingly become popular. Most of Jakarta's residents are more accustomed to living in a landed house, and when they live in an apartment, many are not ready for apartment living habits and regulation. They have to abandon their mindset of living in a landed house, he said. He said that an owner of apartment should also consider aspects of designing and building materials that are safe for children. The quality of building materials should be prioritized, he said. Children's safety should be the main concern with regards to building materials that are used, he said. Now, for the questions, number 1 until 5 as your task for the next week. I hope all of you can do it right at home. The questions is based on the text. I hope all of you can read the text carefully. After that, please answer the questions correctly based on the questions. Okay, I will reply. Please do for the 5 questions for the text. After that, you can submit it after this material. Okay, can you catch my point? I will reply. Please do the questions, 5 questions for the next week. Okay. Now for the definition of news item text. News item is a text which informs readers about events of the day. The events are considered newsworthy or important. And for the generic structure of the news item text are main events, elaborations, research of information source. Now, you can join after that. You can get the point. For the purpose of the news item text are to inform the readers about newsworthy or important events of the day, to present information the readers about newsworthy or important events of the day. And then the characteristics, language feature of news item are focusing on circumstances, using material process, using action verbs, for example, get, read, walk, using saying verbs, for example, replied, said, answered, using adverb of time, adverb of place, adverb of manner. For example, adverb of time, yesterday, last week, last night. Adverb of place, for example, in this department, in this park, on the road. Example of adverb of manner, fluently, quickly, fastly. Okay, can you catch my point, my students? I hope all of you can catch my point and get understanding about this material of news item. I hope all of you can practice at home. Now, for the last one is grammar review. I would say that this grammar is using the reported speech, direct and indirect speech. Direct speech, for example, he said tenants have to obey certain regulation. That is the direct sentence for the yellow column. Reported or indirect speech, he said tenants had to obey certain regulations. And for the blue column, direct, he said many tenants are not ready for apartment living habits. Reported and direct, he said many tenants were not ready for apartment living habits. Okay, I think it's enough for my explanations. I hope all of you can study well and you can reply this video, and you can reply if you don't understand. You can ask me using the Google Classroom, and please chat me on there. Thanks for your attention. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay healthy and stay spirit to study. Don't give up. Your future still long. Don't be sad. I hope the COVID will be go away from this earth. Okay, thank you, my students. Nice to meet you. Nice to hear your voice. See you on the next time. Bye bye.